Hello everyone and welcome back to AmmoMart.com, where you can find real firepower online. You wouldn't know it by today's unseasonably warm temperature, but it's actually bow season for deer in Ohio. And in the first part of November, that means we're just a few short weeks away from being able to use shotguns to hunt deer. Back when I was in sales, this was a very hectic time of year for most gun stores and a very confusing time for a lot of customers that were very unclear about how the system worked to hunt deer with a shotgun. What I've got behind me is a Mossberg 500 combo. And the combo is basically this. It came with a 24-inch rifled barrel and a 28-inch smoothbore barrel. For hunting purposes, the confusion comes in about what type of ammunition, meaning what type of slug ammunition, works with the particular barrel that you have. It was interesting to me to note how a lot of people that had hunted deer for years that I dealt with at the store really didn't know that there was a proper or a more accurate way to do this. And the reason why all of this is important is I don't hunt deer myself because nobody in my house particularly cares for the meat, but I'm definitely not a fan of wounding animals or the unethical hunting practices that might go on simply because you don't know what you're doing. I encourage hunting of all types. You just have to be an ethical, proficient hunter. So let's do a little bit of a deep dive on how all of this works related to proper slug selection for the shotgun barrel you're using. For today's video, I'll be using a Mossberg 500 pump action 12 gauge shotgun. For this portion of the video, I have the 24-inch rifled barrel. And what that means is, like most rifles, it has a twist cut into the inside of the barrel. Now that's important for you to know because when you select your 12 gauge slug ammo, you need to choose the one that says 4 rifled barrels. And what's that telling the consumer is that this round, sometimes called a sabot, is actually smooth. There is no rifling on the ammunition projectile itself, because if you have a rifled slug fired from a rifled barrel, the two rifling patterns are different in twist, which means is usually referred to as a rate, and they will start to compete with one another, and at a certain distance, your accuracy will suffer greatly. Yeah, you can do it. It's not going to cause a catastrophic failure, but you will not get the proper performance out of the shotgun. This, believe it or not, as you can tell, is shaped more like a conventional rifle round. So it has a better ballistic coefficient, creates less drag, and over the long distance will probably perform better than just a round piece of lead going down range. So remember, rifling is good, but two types of rifling, they're going to compete with one another and your accuracy will suffer. Some of you who watched our videos in the past might already be aware, we're back out here at beautiful Ghost Town to do our demonstration. I've set up a target at roughly 65 to 70 yards, which is where one would typically notice a drop in performance related to accuracy if you've used the wrong combination of barrel and ammunition. Up close, of course, it probably won't make a huge difference, but 65 or 70 yards is sometimes the distance that one can hunt deer at in Ohio. People do take longer shots, but as I said, this would where you'll start to notice a marked difference in the way the bullets perform. So what I've done is, weapon is on safe. I've loaded up our Hornady SST slugs designed to be used in a rifled barrel, and I'm going to take a shot down range. Then I'll go down and see what the result is. And after that, I'll use a rifled slug not designed to be used in a rifled barrel. Put this back on safe, pop it out and leave the action open, and I'm going to stroll down range and see. It looks to here to be a little bit right, which could be another topic I want to discuss anyway. So I was aimed in here, center mass, and this was my result at 65 or 70 yards. What's incredibly important is that you know, as a hunter, what your particular rifle or shotgun does at a certain distance. Talking about shotguns, some of them, the sights don't adjust a whole lot, so you're going to have to do holdover, or what some people refer to as Kentucky windage, at a certain distance. It's also worth noting, even though those slugs are pretty heavy, we do have a significant breeze blowing left to right across the barrel. So that could be a potential reason for the high right strike. However, without experimentation, you will not know that. It also surprised me when I was in sales how many people did not tune their gun from season to season, or if they bought a new one at all, even if it had a scope. That's an unethical practice for hunters to do, and I encourage everybody to please, for the animal's sake and the future of hunting, know what's going to happen at a certain distance when you get off a well-aimed shot. I still have the rifled barrel in the Mossberg 500, and now what I'll do is shoot a Remington rifled slug not designed to be going out of this barrel, and we'll see what happens downrange. Hopefully I have enough distance for it to be a marked effect, but we'll see. Put this guy on safe. It would appear that the cardboard is down, but let's travel downrange and see what we get. All of this is just bounce back. I had to use a steel backer because of the wind today. It would just be traveling all over without that, and it's traveling anyway. But it would appear that we potentially have roughly the same impact point. Now, it would be curious to see what happens over distance, but in this case, we didn't get a huge difference in the two, but what I'm hoping is that the target camera can pick up the exact point of aim and we can sort of measure it once we get it back to edit the video. For this portion of the video, I'm going to use a 28-inch smoothbore barrel in the Mossberg 500. And to start with, I'll use the correct combination of smooth barrel, rifled slug. And then we'll go a different direction where we'll go smooth, smooth. And I think that's where you'll notice the most remarkable effect of using the wrong combinations. And once again, this will be smooth barrel, rifled slug. One of the limitations to using this system in this particular case is the sighting system is quite inferior. It's a bead and then a larger bead out towards the muzzle of the shotgun. So that could also potentially affect your accuracy, when I'm guaranteeing you it will at this distance. But we'll do our best. Sort of aim in. Weapons off safe. Sight picture. Obviously, we impacted the target. You take this, get it on safe. Action open, and let's go downrange and see what we got. Your obvious impact. And like I said, some of that could be related to the beading system on the shotgun, but you'll notice smooth bore with a pretty inferior sighting system at this distance, not that bad of a result. I was, of course, aiming here, but once you know that's where your ammunition performs, you can adjust for that on the fly. Now, we're going to go use the wrong combination and see how close we get. Right now, I'm going to use the Hornady SST slug, which, as we stated before, has no rifling, neither does the barrel. Let's see what happens downrange. Action is open, weapons on safe. Let's go take a peek downrange. So this was our first result using the correct combination, smooth barrel rifle and a rifled slug. This was the result when we used smooth and smooth. You'll notice it's a direct hit here, splintered the daylights out of the target frame, and I did my absolute best to hold the sights with the same bead picture, sight picture, and of course, the sight alignment was the same as much as I could make it. And you'll notice this is a complete miss on the animal, which might be a little more humane than wounding it. However, as predicted, one not workable combination is smooth and smooth. The most unworkable situation in the field for your hunting is a smoothbore barrel and an unrifled slug. There's nothing to stabilize the projectile, and at distance you can see it pretty much does what it wants to do. You cannot guarantee an ethical hit on the target with those combinations. I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as you might enjoy this year's hunting season. In conclusion, I would like to sum up the fact that it is important for you to know what system you're going to use for hunting related to shotguns and the ammunition that goes with that particular barrel. Remember, if you have a rifled barrel, you need a smooth slug. If you have a smooth barrel, you need a rifled slug. One of each is required for the ethical harvesting of the whitetail. Enjoy your hunting season, and thanks again for watching.